Good morning, students. As already we have started about the electrolytic cell and electrolysis. Once again, I am going to repeat. Electrolytic cell. It is a cell in which electrical energy get converted into chemical energy, and here the reaction is non-spontaneous because non-spontaneity means reaction cannot take place by their own. Here you have to put some effort for the reaction. So that is called as electrolytic cell. Setup of electrolytic cell also we have done, and the process which involve in the electrolytic cell is called to be as electrolysis. With the help of electrolysis process, we are doing many of the uh, process like metallurgy and some more. So here now there is need to know about the product of electrolysis. As we know that in electrolytic cell we may use a type of molten electrolyte or aqueous electrolyte, because solid electrolyte they do not get dissociate into their ions. That's why it could not conduct electricity. There is need to take either molten or aqueous solution of electrolyte. So here first, before discussing about the product of electrolysis, here there are certain conditions that we people have to know. So first is nature of the material being electrolyzed. First you have to see what type of material is undergo electrolysis, because it is also very necessary. Second, type of electrode being used, because sometime it may happen that we are using either electrode which is made up of platinum or gold, and because platinum and gold they are inert in nature, they do not take part in the reaction. That's why this is taken as the inactive electrode. And if we are taking active electrode, like electrode is made up of copper or zinc or anything else, then it participate in the reaction, and here the product will be different as in case of platinum or gold. So this is also very important to see what type of electrode we are using. Third condition is that kinetic barrier and over voltage. Sometime it may happen some type of reaction is seems to be feasible, but actually they are not feasible. Why? Because the voltage difference between these two, we know that the one which is having the higher reduction potential undergo electrolysis more faster, but sometime it has happens the one which is having less electrode potential, they undergo reduction or electrolysis. It is because of the over voltage, because the one which is having the low voltage, because of the low voltage the kinetic process becomes very slow, and because of the slow reaction it act as electrical barrier, or it act as to stop the reaction, means act as resistance. That's why the one which is having the higher voltage is preferred more as compared to the less voltage. So these are the three conditions. On the basis of these, the product of electrolysis is depend. So like we know that if we are having NaCl, molten NaCl, so molten NaCl undergo electrolysis, it dissociate and form Na plus Cl minus, and we know that in electrolytic cell cathode will be having negative charge and anode will be having positive charge. So negative charge, it means sodium get attracted towards the cathode and it forms Na plus is going to gain one electron and get converted into Na, whereas at anode chlorine, it is going to lose electron and combine with its own atom, and then the formation of Cl2 takes place. But if we will be taking aqueous NaCl, this is aqueous NaCl, means NaCl plus water. So here the condition is little different from the earlier one, like NaCl dissociate into Na plus and Cl minus, and same H2O also dissociate as H plus plus OH minus. So at cathode, excuse me, at cathode what happen? Na plus is going to gain one electron and get converted into Na, where the electrode potential of this one is minus 2.71 volt. Same H plus is going to gain one electron and get converted into H, where is the electrode potential of this one is 0. Hydrogen is taken as 0, or somewhere it is given 0.41, that is also same. So here the competition is there in between these two, that which one is going to deposit over the electrode, because both cannot be deposited over there. That's why which one is preferred first. So as we know that the one which is having the higher reduction potential, so reduction potential, the one which is having the positive value, oxidation potential, the one which is having the negative value. So here the value of this one is negative and this one is taken as the positive. So H plus is the preferred one, and at cathode hydrogen gas is deposited, not sodium. Now anode, what does happens at anode? Because at anode we have chlorine and hydroxide ion. So chlorine is going to lose one electron, and here the electrode potential of chlorine is 1.36 volt, whereas hydroxide, it is also going to lose one electron, and the electrode potential of this one is 1.23 volt. So here according to the rule, the one which is having the higher positive value is taken to be as the preferred one. So here when we see, the reduction potential of chlorine is 1.36 volt and hydroxide is 1.23 volt. Still chlorine is liberated at anode. Why? Due to the concentrated solution of NaCl. This is the first condition. Second condition is because of the over voltage. The voltage of this one is higher. That's why chlorine is preferred, and at anode chlorine is going to deposit. So product of electrolysis depend on these factors that you people have to keep in mind, because whenever we have aqueous solution, water also dissociate with any of the electrolytes. So which one is taken, that we have to see. These are the product of electrolysis. After that, we are having one scientist who had given the relationship between the quantity of electricity passed and the quantity of substance liberated at the electrode, and it is given few of the laws of electrolysis that we are going to discuss now. See, first law of electrolysis, that the weight of the substance deposited at the electrode depend upon the charge flow through the cell. Whatever the weight is going to deposit over any of the electrode, it is directly proportional to the charge. What are the amount of charge that is going to flow. So here this W represent weight and Q represent charge. So that's why W is directly proportional to charge. We also know that Q is equal to IT, where I is the ampere and T is time. So we can also write it one as W is directly proportional to IT. To remove this one, we have one proportionality constant, that is Z, which where Z is the electrochemical equivalent. So it could be written as W is equal to ZIT. Okay. If the value of I means current, the current that is passed is 1 ampere and time is taken as 1 second, then W is directly proportional to Z, and it may be defined as, it is the weight deposited at the electrode when 1 ampere of current flows to the cell in 1 second. Okay, this is the first law, and here Z can be calculated as amount of weight of the substance upon N into F, where N is the number of electron exchange. Like copper, here if we are talking about the copper, the number of electron exchange is 2. If we are talking about the silver, the number of electron exchange is 1. So whatever the number of electron exchange that you have to write in place of N or F is the Faraday's constant, that is 96500. That this value you have to put. This is the first law. Second law of Faraday is, if two electrolytic cells are kept or connect in series with different electrolytic cell, then according to the Faraday's law, weight of the first substance deposited is upon weight of the second substance, means equivalent weight of first upon equivalent weight of second. This is the second law. Also, this Faraday suggested a very important law, that is, according to Faraday, if we have a electrolyte, in that we have to deposit metal, so what charge is needed? Whatever the electrolyte we are using, so what amount of charge is needed to deposit a particular amount of electrolyte or metal, that also we have to see. On the basis of this one only we are going to give charge. So it is 1 Faraday or charge is required for 1 mole of electron exchange. It depends on the electron exchange. If 1 electron is going to exchange, then 1 Faraday is needed. 2 electron is going to exchange, then 2 farad is needed. Sometimes the question may be asked from this section also, like here for hydrogen, here 1 mole of electron is exchanged, that's why here you have to take 1 farad, that is 96500. For copper 2 electron is going to exchange, that's why it is 2 farad, that is 2 into 96500. For aluminium, here 3 electron is going to exchange, it means it is 3 farad. This type of question may also be asked. Okay, so these are the Faraday's law of electrolysis. Rest of the thing we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.